Hello and welcome to my channel Distinctive Crochet. My name is Priscilla and today we're going to make this beautiful summer top that you see here. Before we get into the tutorial, I just wanted to go over how we're going to be working this up so that it'll help you better to understand what parts we'll be working on and when. So the first part is we're going to be starting right down here at the bottom. Let me raise it up a little bit. So we're going to start off down here with the foundation double crochet stitch, and then we're going to work our way up using the traditional granny stitch all the way up to the bust line. And you also want to make sure that yours reaches your bust line. So mine measured about 10 inches, but if you need a few more rows, go ahead and add those. If you need a little less, then just take some away. But you can always try it on, and you want to make sure that it's down here, at this level down here, and then it reaches up to your under your bust line. So just go ahead and try that on just to make sure that it fits. Then the next section we'll be working on is the ruffle stitch. So what you want to do with that is you want to make sure that the ruffle is covering your bust area. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and add enough ruffle for that. On the top she has six rows. In the top that I'm wearing, I use 7 rows. So if you need even more than that, go ahead and add those. And then after we do the ruffle part, we will be doing this chest area. So we will need to find the middle or the center of the ruffle so that we can go ahead and add our chest area. And if you notice, we're decreasing on either side, so we will be doing that as well. And then we will be doing our drawstring. Let me show you the back. This is how it's gives you support, is with our drawstring. So we have a drawstring in the bottom ruffle and a drawstring in the top ruffle. And then that is what gives you the support. Now I'm going to ask you guys to try it on after you've done your ruffle stitch, to go ahead and try this on and tie it up so that it fits nice and snug, so that we'll be able to figure out where we're going to line these straps at for your shoulder straps. And that will also give you an extra form of support. But all of that is coming up in the tutorial, guys, so don't worry about it. I just wanted to give you an overall of what we're going to be doing so that you can have a little bit more direction and know exactly what's going on. So also, guys, if you have any questions after this tutorial, go ahead and leave those in the comments below, and I will do my best to assist you in that. So let's continue on with the tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys. So the materials we'll be needing for today's tutorial is a letter J 6mm hook. We will need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, measuring tape. You will need acrylic yarn, worsted weight yarn. I'll be using the color wheels by Loops and Thread in the colors deep turquoise, turquoise, and pool. You could also use cotton yarn if you wanted to use it as a swimsuit cover-up. And also you will need 2 colors of contrasting yarn for your stitch markers, or you could just use 2 regular stitch markers. So that's the materials you will be needing for today. And now here is the size chart. This chart will help you determine how many stitches you need to go ahead and do for your foundation chain. And just go ahead and take a few minutes to look over the chart to see about how much yarn you'll need, as well as the size that you'll be working on. And now to the tutorial. Okay, everyone, to get started, after you figure out how many stitches you need for the size you're going to be working on, we're going to get those stitches by doing a foundation double crochet. So what you need to do is make sure you have your slip knot on your hook, and then we're going to chain 3. And now once you have your 3 chains, we're going to yarn over. We're going to find our back bump. There's the front of our chain. Now we're going to flip it over to the back and find the back bump that you can see right there. Now we're going to go ahead and insert our hook into the back bump. We'll yarn over and pull up a loop. And now we will yarn over and pull through that first loop. and this is going to create the chain, and this is how we'll have our foundation double crochet. There's the chain of the foundation double crochet, and next we're going to go ahead and make the double crochet part. So all you need to do is yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2, just like a regular double crochet. Now we're going to yarn over. So this time it's not a back bump, but we're going to find the 2 loops of the chain we just made, and we'll go ahead and insert our hook into those 2 chains. Into the 2 loops of the chain. So once you get it through there, all you need to do is make sure you have the 2 loops. Then you're going to yarn over, pull up the loop, and make sure you're not doing it too tight. You want to leave a little bit of slack. You're going to yarn over and pull through that first chain again to make the chain. Then we will go ahead and yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So here we go again. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook. Oops, hold on, let me tighten up a little bit. Yarn over, go right into the 2 loops of that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through to make the chain, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that is how we make our foundation double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish mine off of camera, but I am only going to be doing a small portion. I also actually filmed this part already, but my camera was filming sideways, so I am going to be doing a smaller swatch on this, and then as the video gets further down, you'll see the full top, but this will be just for a small swatch. Alright, so I'm back, guys, and so I'm on my last foundation double crochet. So I'm just making that chain, and now I'm gonna pull through 2 and pull through 2. I did just a total of 13, which is 3 plus 1, and that is our stitch multiple for this project. So now I'm just going to go ahead and chain up 3 to start our row. I'm going to put 2 more double crochets into the same stitch, and this is the beginning of our Granny Stitch row. Now we're going to chain 2. We'll skip 2, and then we will do 3 double crochets into the next stitch. And then we're just going to go ahead and chain 2, and then we will skip 2, and then we will do 3 double crochets right into the next stitch. So this is the pattern that we'll be following for the Granny Stitch. Now I'm going to chain 2 again, skip 2, and then 3 double crochets into the next stitch. And then I have 1 more to go, so I'm going to be doing a chain 2. And then for the last one, I'll just do a double crochet into that top of that last stitch. So now I have my first row of my Granny Stitch done, but we are going to change color on every row, so I'm just going to go ahead and change my color there. Okay, so what you're going to do is just pull through 2 with your new color to change color. Just tighten it down a little bit. Now we're going to carry our yarn, because we're going to keep using this for each row. So we'll tilt it to the back and then bring our new color up and pull up a chain. We'll flip it back over to the front to trap the yarn, and we'll do that by making another chain. And then flip it back 1 more time to trap that yarn in, and it allows us to carry it up to the height that we need, and we'll make our last chain. So it's nice and secure, as you can see. And now we're going to go ahead and turn our work around. And then we need to put 2 more double crochets into that same stitch for our granny cluster. And we're going to chain 2 and then do 3 double crochets into that chain 2 space for our granny cluster. We'll chain 2 again, and then we'll keep repeating this all the way down the row. Make sure you guys are repeating this all the way down your row. If you need to go ahead and pause the video, please do so and come back when you've made it to the end of your row. I'm pretty much just showing you guys how to do the granny stitch for this tutorial, and also how to carry your yarn as you're changing color. So I'm chaining 2, and now I'm just going to go right into the last stitch through the top of that chain 3 and just put 1 double crochet right into the top of that chain 3. And now we're going to make sure we change color before we do our last pull through 2. So just pull up our new color right through that last pull through 2. And now we're going to carry our yarn once more. We'll tilt it to the back, and then with our new color we will go ahead and chain it. Flip it to the front, make another chain, and flip it to the back for our last chain of 3. So now we can turn our work around, put 2 more double crochets right into that same space. Now we're going to go ahead and chain up 2, and then we will put 3 double crochets into the next space. And we're going to chain 2 and 3 double crochets right into the next space. And like I said, you will keep working this same way all the way down your row, and please feel free to pause the video until you get down to the end of your row. So I'm doing 3 more double crochets into my next space. Chain 2, and then into the very last one I just wanted to put 1 double crochet into the top of that chain 3. And see how this color is right there for us, ready to go. So that's why we carry up our yarn for each one. It makes it easier with lots of less tails to weave in. So now we don't have as many tails to weave in as we carrying our yarn up. And this works well with 3 colors. So I haven't tried it with any more than that. So we will just be sticking to the 3 colors for this tutorial. So there we have it trapped, and it's ready to go for the next time we come back to that color. So now we're just going to go ahead and follow this pattern all the way across. And then you're just going to repeat this and make sure you carry up your yarn as you go and changing color as you go, and keep going to as many rows as you need. Like I said, I use 10 inches for mine. So go ahead and do as many rows as you need and see if it fits right up under your bust area from your waist. That's the height that you need. So I'll be right back. And I made it back. So as you can see, it measures right at about 10 inches. And this was the right size for me. It fit from my waist right up under my bust area. So go ahead and try yours if you haven't yet, and make sure that it goes from your waist to your bust area. Okay, so now we're on to the next step, which is the ruffle stitch. So I'm going to be working on my swatch still, just to show you guys how to get started with your ruffle stitch. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and do double crochets all the way across the row. So I have my chain 3, and we're going to put double crochet in each across, even in the chains. So we're just going to yarn over, and that chain 3 does count as one stitch already. So we're going to go right into the next stitch, which is a chain. So we'll insert our hook right into the chain. It's a little fidgety, but we'll get there. So once you get that in there, you just want to yarn over and finish off your double crochet, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we have another chain right next to it. So we'll put a double crochet in there, and now we made it to our granny cluster. So we're just going to put 1 double crochet into each of those double crochets, and this is just setting up our row for our ruffle stitch. So you want to have a nice clean row of all double crochets. So that's all you have to do. You're just going to repeat that all the way across, making sure you put 1 into each of your chains and 1 of each of your 3 double crochets for your granny cluster. I'm going to meet you back when I have mine all the way across and show you what to do next. I made it back, so I'm at my very last stitch, and I'm just going to go ahead and double crochet right into the top of that chain 3. So my last pull through 2, I'm going to be sure to change my color, and it's right there for me. But this time, guys, we don't need to worry about carrying up the yarn, because when we do the ruffle stitch, it's not really necessary. We just need to keep it attached to our work so that it'll be there when we make it back to the other side. So now what we're going to do is chain up 3, and then we're going to go ahead and work in the front loop only. Here's the back stitch, the back loop, and then there is the front loop. We're only going to be working in the front loop of each stitch. So we want to go ahead and put 2 double crochets into this first loop here, because the chain 3 already counts as a stitch. But for each one across after that, we're going to put 3 double crochets in each one of those, and make sure you're working in the front loop only. This is how we're going to get our ruffle stitch, by putting those 3 double crochets into one. So I'm just going to work a few more just to show you guys a little bit about what the ruffle will begin to look like as you work on these stitches. So here's the next one, making sure I'm in the front loop only, and you're putting 3 double crochets. So as you can see, guys, it's kind of ruffle up a little bit already, and you're just going to keep going all the way across, 3 double crochets into each stitch, making sure you're only going through the front loop only. So I will go ahead and meet you back when I get all the way across, and I'll show you what to do next. I made it back, and now I'm going through this last loop here, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets right into that front stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now in our last pull through 2, we're going to make sure and change color. And now we're going to turn it over. And so for this next row, we want to go through the loop that we left behind, through that back loop. And it's in the front now since we've turned our work. And that's the stitches that we left behind. So now we're just going to go into that stitch, and we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of those. So we're just going to go all the way across, making sure to put only 1 double crochet into that loop that we left behind from the previous row. And this will get us back to the other side where we're working on the front to do our ruffle stitch. So you're just going to keep going all the way across into each of those loops, making sure you're only putting 1 double crochet into each of those loops all the way across, and I'll meet you back when I have mine done. Alright, and I made it back around. So I have one more loop to go through, and I'm just going to put one double crochet right into that last loop. And on my last pull through too, I'm going to make sure and change color. So now I'm going to turn my work around, and I'm going to chain 3, and we're going to work the ruffle stitch again. So now we're just going to be repeating this pattern from now on, and this time it's a ruffle row, so we need to go ahead and put 2 more double crochets into that first stitch, since the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. And now we're going to put 3 in each stitch across, making sure you're only going through that front loop only. So all you have to do is just keep repeating that pattern. You're going to do the ruffle and then the double crochet, and you're going to go back to your ruffle and then back to the double crochet, and just keep repeating that until you get to the size that you need. I use 7 for my top, and if you need more, just use as many rows as you need to cover your bust area. So I'll meet you back when I have mine. So I made it back, and you want to make sure you're ending this row on a double crochet row, not a ruffle row. So make sure you finish off on a double crochet. So I'm finishing mine off on a double crochet row, and I'm going into this last loop. I'm making sure to only put 1 double crochet into this loop here. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn here. Okay, so I have that cut, and now all I'm going to do next is I'm just going to go ahead and pull that through to finish off. Pull it up a little bit, and now I'm back, and this is my actual piece that I've been working on. And so we're going to go ahead and measure for our chest area at the top, and I'm just going to go ahead and fold over the bottom edge. You don't want to fold it up too high because you can see how it's curving up there. So just a little bit right before it starts to curve too much. And now I'm going to slide it down so you can see a little bit better. And so once you have that folded, that'll give you an idea of where the center is. And now I'm just going to measure about 2.5 inches from either side of the end to mark my stitch. So I'm using the pen to help make sure it's about straight, and then there's 2.5 there, and I'll do the other side. Let me slide it so you can see a little better. Alright, and here is the other side, which is also about 2.5 inches from the end. Yep, it's about 2.5 inches. Okay, we're doing this so that when we create the chest area, it's going to go in and decrease. So we don't want to make it as wide as the ruffle. We want to start it off in towards the middle. So I have used contrasting yarn to mark off my stitches. And once you get your stitches marked off, you want to go ahead and count them and make sure that you have a multiple of 3 plus 1. So for example, 3 times 4 is 12, and plus 1 more would be 13. So go ahead and recount and make sure you have a multiple of 3 plus 1 so that you can go ahead and work your stitch evenly. Alright, and I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch my new color into the space where I have my stitch marker. And then guys, we have this so that our project is facing us with the ruffle is in the front. Now we need to go ahead and chain up 3, and then we'll put 2 double crochets right into the same space for our granny cluster. And now we're just going to go ahead and chain up 2, and then we will skip 2, and now we will go ahead and 3 double crochets into our next double crochet. So now we're going to chain 2, and then we'll skip 2, and then we'll put a double crochet into the next stitch, 3 double crochets, and then we'll keep going like this all the way until we get to our other stitch marker, and then when I get there I'll show you guys how to end off the row. So just keep going all the way down until you get to your other stitch marker. So I'll be right back when I have mine done. Alright, and I made it back, so I have my chain 2. I'm going to skip 2, and that puts me right there at my stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets right into that same space. There's 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut the yarn, which I've already done, and I'm just going to pull it up to fasten off. And now we're going to go ahead and pick our next color. And we're going to be decreasing on this row. Alright, so we're going back to the beginning where we first started the row, and we're going to decrease. So I'm not going to work in that stitch there, I'm going to work in this space here. So I'm going to grab my next color, and then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch that through just to join. So after I have this slip stitch to join, I'm just going to go ahead and chain up 3. So I have my 1, oops, sorry about that guys, 2, and 3. And now I can go ahead and put 2 more double crochets right there into that same space. And now I'm going to chain up 2 and then put 3 double crochets right into this space. And then I'm just going to go ahead and chain 2 and repeat all the way till we get to the end where our stitch marker is. Alright, so I made it back, and we're going to chain 2 and put 3 double crochets right into that last space. Alright, and now we're not going to do anything in this last one, and we're going to end it right here. Alright, so I'm cutting my yarn, and now I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. Alright, so I'm going to slide back down to the other end and grab my next color, and then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the space right after that first cluster of 3 for a decrease. So now I have it slip stitch to join, and now I'm going to go ahead and chain up 3, and then I will go ahead and put 2 more double crochets into the same space. And then I'm going to go ahead and chain up 2. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets into the next space. Alright, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then we'll just keep repeating this pattern all the way down till we get to the last space before the last double crochet cluster. So right there. So just keep going all the way across till you get there. I'll meet you back to show you what to do next. And I made it back. So I'm going to do my chain 2, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets right into that last space. All right. Oops. And now I'm just going to go ahead and cut my yarn. And then we just need to go ahead and pull it through to fasten off. And we're going to slide back down to the start and get our next color. Let me grab that. So I'm slip stitching my next color in, and then I'm just going to go ahead, tighten it down, and chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, and put 2 double crochets into the same space. Whoops. Let me tension my yarn again. There, that's better. So I'll put 1 more double crochet, so a total of 3 with that chain of 3. Now I'm going to chain 2 and go right into my next space and put 3 double crochets in there. And chain 2 and 3 double crochets in there, and then we will keep going in the same way all the way across, making sure to do our decrease on the end. And I'll meet you back to show you. Just keep going all the way across right to the last space, and then I'll meet you back when I get mine. Alright, so I'm going to put my last 3 double crochets into this last cluster. I'm sorry, into the last space. And then I'm going to fasten off. I already have mine cut, and pull it through. So we have 1 more row to do for our decrease, and I'm grabbing my next color so that I can slip stitch it in. And I'm just slip stitching it in 1 cluster over so that we have that nice decrease on either side. And I'm slip stitching to join. And now I'm chaining up 3, and then I'll put 2 more double crochets into that next, into the same space. I'm going to chain 2 and keep repeating this all the way across, putting 3 double crochets into this next space. Remember to leave off that last stitch for our decrease. I'll meet you back and show you what it looks like. Just keep going all the way down, and we're just going right there into the last space and fasten off. I'll meet you back. So I made it to my last space, and I'm just going to put 3 double crochets in there. If this doesn't seem long enough to cover your chest area, you can always go ahead and add in another row. I wouldn't do another decrease, just add another plain row, and then just keep trying it on to make sure that you have the coverage that you need. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my yarn here and fasten off. And just pull it through to fasten off. Okay, so I'm just going to do our straps next, and I'm just going to make those straps come right from that cluster and that cluster. So now we're on the straps, and so the top of the chain 3, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch our new color. That way we'll be joined to our cluster for the straps, and then we're just going to chain up 3 and 2 more, so that'll be our double crochet and our chain 2 space. And now we'll go right into this space here and put in our 3 double crochets. Whoops, let me fix this. Sorry about that. So the 5 chains acts as a double crochet and then a chain 2 space. Okay, so now we're just going to put 3 double crochets into this space. There we go. And one more. And now we'll chain up 2. And then we'll put 1 double crochet into that 3rd double crochet of the cluster. So just 1 double crochet here. And now we're going to turn our work. And this is the strap that we're going to be working on now. So I'm just going to chain up 3 for the double crochet. And then we'll put 2 more double crochets into that same space. And now we need to go ahead and chain 2. And then we'll put 3 double crochets into the next space. And then we're going to turn. And to get over this cluster, we're going to do a chain of 5, and that will give us the chain 3 will be a double crochet, and the chain 2 will be the chain 2 space. So a total of 5 chains. And now we're going to do 3 double crochets into the next space. And then we'll chain 2. And then we'll just go ahead and double crochet into the top of that chain 3. So right through there, and then just put a double crochet. So just like that. So we'll keep working in the same pattern all the way, get up. I made my straps about 8 inches long. If you think you need a little longer, then go ahead and add a few more rows. But I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So I'm back at my last stitch here. So I'm just chaining 2, and then I'll do a double crochet in the top of the chain 3 just to finish it off. So just 1 double crochet in the top of that chain 3. So I already cut my yarn, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull through to finish off. And then there's our first strap. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and do the other strap, which is the left side with the ruffle facing us. It is on the left side. So we just need a slip stitch in the top of this double crochet here. And then we're just going to go ahead and chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now 2 more for our chain 2 space. So a total of 5. And then we'll put 3 double crochets right into this space. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we need chain 2. And then we'll put 1 double crochet into the top of that last double crochet. And then we're going to turn our work around. And we'll go ahead and do a chain of 3. And we'll put 2 double crochets into the same space. And then we're going to go ahead and chain 2. One and 2, and now we're just going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets into the next space. Alright, now we need to turn again, and to get over this granny cluster we need to go ahead and chain up 5. So that's a double crochet for the chain 3, and then 2 more for the chain 2 space, which is a total of 5 chains. And now we're going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets into this space. And now we're going to chain 2. and then put 1 double crochet at the top of this chain 3 here. Okay, and you're just going to keep going in the same way all the way up until you get about your 8 inches, and then I'll meet you back to show you what to do next. Alright, so here's both of my straps finished. They're about 8 inches in length, and now we need to make the drawstring. So this is my drawstring here, and we need to make 2 of them. I chained about 200 and it measured around over 60 inches. So if you feel like you need a little bit less, then go ahead and chain less. If you think you might need more, go ahead and make more. Just go ahead and make the adjustments that you need. So once you have the number of chains that you like, you're just going to go ahead and skip that first chain from your hook, and then you're going to go into the second stitch, and then you'll go into the back bumps, and then you'll insert your hook and do a slip stitch right through the back bump, and that'll give us a nice thick chain. So I'm just going to keep going right into those back bumps and make a slip stitch right into the next one. And you don't want to do it too tight, guys. Just a nice even tension, and you just want to keep slip stitching all the way down your chain so that you have a nice sturdy drawstring. Whoops. So I'm going to make this one, and then I'm just going to go ahead and finish the rest off camera, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Alright, so there's my other drawstring, and I just finished it off by pulling through, cutting my yarn and pulling through. Alright, so now I want to show you how to put in the drawstring into your ruffle. So we're going to have one at the top ruffle and one in the bottom. And this is what the one at the bottom looks like. And now I'm going to show you how I did it for the top row. Alright, so grab your drawstring, and all you need to do is pretty much just weave it in and out. So find that very first cluster and find your chain 3, and then there's the 2 double crochets. So pull it right through between the chain 3 and the 2 double crochet. And from now on, we're just going to go in between the chain 3 into those spaces. I'm sorry, not chain 3, but 3 double crochets. So we're just going to go down and then back up right in between those clusters of 3 double crochets. And then I'm going to go back down again. And you just want to keep going in this same way, weaving it in and out or up and down all the way across. And this is what it looks like so far. And now you just have to keep going all the way across. I'll do mine off camera, and then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alright, so I'm back and I'm on my last one. So I'm just going to push it back down through. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put it in between those 2 double crochets and that chain 3 for that last cluster. And I'll just push it right back up there and pull it through for that last one. So just turn it back to the back side and just make sure the drawstrings are even on either side. And then I would like you to go ahead and try it on and tie it up so that it fits snug. And then you want to make sure that you can tie it up where it'll stay that way. And then go ahead and leave it tied up, but try to take it back off so that we can find the place we need to do for measure for our straps. And that will make it easier for us to place our straps, and make sure you have it the way that you like it to fit. So I'll meet you back once I've tried mine on. Alright, so I made it back. So there you can see where I still have it tied up after trying it on. So what I did was I just laid the strap down, and then I saw where it kind of lined up in the back. So it's about 3 of those clusters over, and then I'm lining it up with that 4th one there. And then I'm going to make sure it's the same on the other side. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then it's lined up with the 4th one. And I'll be using my tail to go ahead and sew that up with the stitches on the other side. And I'm just going to use a simple mattress stitch to sew it up, just weaving in and out. So I'm just lining it up again, and then I'm just going to go through 1 loop on either side and pull it through. So I'm up this way, and then I'm going to go and catch the other loops and go back down the next way. So it's just a simple mattress stitch going back and forth, 1 of each loop of each side. Just going back and forth, catching the loops of each strap and the ruffle. And that way it'll be nice and secure. So once you get it sewn up, you want to try it on again before you weave in your ends, just to make sure that you like the fit. And that way it won't be too hard to adjust if you need to make some adjustments. Alright, so now I have it attached. And then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to do the other side. So make sure you put that one on, sew that one up, and then try it on again and see if you like the fit. If you like the fit, all you have to do is go ahead and weave in all your ends. If you don't like the fit, go ahead and make those adjustments. I really hope you enjoy this beautiful summer top. I'm going to go ahead and sew on my ends, and I'll show you what it looks like when I come back. Alright everyone, and here is my top all finished, and I really enjoy this top. I think it's going to be great over the summer. I really hope you enjoy yours, and thanks again for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, guys, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.